Hello again, and welcome to another session of Huddle Psychology with me, Rahul Nair. I hope you have been keeping well and keeping healthy. In our last session, we dealt with continuous violations of boundaries, boundary violations, and I hope that session was useful to you and also the accompanying blog post on our blog. Today, we are going to talk about something entirely different, something quite interesting. You'll be surprised. Today, we are going to talk about the surprising benefits of boredom. Yes, you heard me right. Boredom. You know that feeling when you don't know what to do, you tell yourself that you're bored or you don't want to be bored. We always constantly keep fighting boredom. We don't want to be bored. But it holds a lot of power. It might help you boost your creativity, improve your focus, and maybe even help you find meaning in your life. That's right. So wait till you watch the entire video. I'm here to help you probably convert boredom into your secret weapon. Now, as always, before we get into all of that, let's work with a working definition, as we always do. So, psychologists define boredom as that uncomfortable state where you would like to do something, you want to do something, but you're unable to find something to do, something satisfying to do. So that's the literal meaning of boredom. So you want to do something, but you can't find something satisfying to do, something meaningful to do. So imagine you're switching on Netflix and you're scrolling endlessly, not knowing, which show to pick up, what movie to watch. You're kind of bored in the typical sense, and you select, say, for example, the sitcom Friends, and you watch it for the 100th time. I mean, I'm a fan of Friends. I love Friends, but watching it for the 100th time, maybe we are bored. So that's the working definition of boredom. Now, let's get into a little bit of the science behind boredom. So, in our brain, there is something called the default mode network, or the DMN. The DMN is responsible for imagination, it's responsible for creativity, free thinking, etc. Now, when you're bored, your DMN lights up. And that's the important bit. So, you must have experienced, for example, having an aha moment, a new idea popping up in your mind when you're in the middle of the shower, or when you're going out for a walk. You come up with an idea, something that you had never thought of before. That's your brain working in the background without conscious effort and connecting dots that you never thought were possible, or linking and creating new ideas which were not conscious to you before. So that's what happens when your DMN lights up and you're kind of not putting conscious effort into doing anything. I mean, in the literal sense, you may be bored, but your brain is still doing a lot of work in the background. Here's a fun fact. Research done by Dr. Sandy Mann, who's an expert in this area, found out that people who were doing boring tasks like copying numbers from a phone book, for example. I mean, you can't get more boring than that. They tended to do better when it came to creative tasks just right afterwards. So boredom seems to have a place when it comes to boosting your creativity and imagination. Now, why do we avoid boredom? It's important to ask that question because we want to run away from it all the time. So here's the problem. We live in a world that is designed to eliminate boredom. Just think about your everyday life, your smartphone, all the social networks you're part of: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, the constant, endless, dead scrolling again and again and again. You're constantly stimulated. On top of all that, you have OTT platforms with gazillion amount of content, all meant to keep you stimulated and engaged all the time, throughout the day, throughout the week, months on end. Now, this comes at a cost. This means that we don't have much time. We have very little time to really unplug, to really think, to reflect, to imagine, to daydream, because we are constantly overstimulated. We are bombarded with so much technology and tech infused, tech driven, tech delivered content and stimulation that it becomes quite difficult for us to remain unplugged and focus on something by itself. So that's a problem. So you must have heard of Blaise Pascal. So he once said, all of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. And I think he was onto something. I think he was right. So we have this tendency to be overstimulated, we are hyper connected, and that's the problem. So we push away boredom and we want to fill that gap with some kind of stimulus or the other. Now, having said that, let's talk a little bit about what the benefits of boredom are. I had briefly mentioned that in the intro to this video. Let's go one by one. Boredom can boost your creativity. Famously, people like J.K. Rowling, the creator of Harry Potter series, she thought about Harry Potter and the idea of Harry Potter and Hogwarts and all of that, the entire Harry Potter universe, when she was stuck in a train. Steve Jobs often always said that his best ideas came when he was simply ruminating, thinking, daydreaming. So, boredom can actually boost your creativity. And we have seen that in scores, in many, many creative people, with effortless doing nothing and just allowing your default mode network to do some connections and making some new connections, it boosts your creativity. So that's point number one. Point number two, it improves your focus. How? Well, by resisting instant gratification. That's what we get when we are always plugged in. We want to look at the messages on WhatsApp, we want to check the latest update on social media, the notifications keep popping up. If you keep aside, if you resist the instant gratification of that stimuli, over time you learn to improve your focus, and over time you develop greater clarity of thought. So avoiding instant gratification from stimulus coming from outside allows us to become more focused and allows us to build greater clarity of thought. So that's the second one. Third one is it improves or it aids our personal growth. How? Well, when we are unplugged, when we stop distracting ourselves with OTT content and social media and emails and WhatsApp messages, etc., we create some time and space for us to reflect, ask some of the bigger questions of life, such as, what am I doing? Where am I going? Who am I? These are some important, big questions of life which we seldom get time to think about, let alone answer. So, all of these questions help us become better selves of ourselves, right? It helps us grow into better human beings. But that's only possible if we stop distracting ourselves, if we begin to kind of stand back, get unplugged, and give ourselves some room, time, and space to think about these important big questions of life. So, those were some of the benefits of boredom. Now, how do you harness this power of boredom? I'll give you three important, short, quick, and easy tips for you to be able to make the most of your downtime. Number one, schedule unplugged time. Every day, set aside 15, 20, maybe 30 minutes in a day to be completely unplugged. No phones, no emails, no work, just completely unplugged from technology, completely unplugged from screens, perhaps spend some time in nature or simply daydream. Just have some unplugged time. That's very, very important for you to make the most of what might feel like boredom. Secondly, do mindless tasks. Now, this might come as a surprise to you. Things like folding your laundry, or doing the dishes, or taking the garbage out. These might sound like painful chores to do, but they are fantastic ways for you to remain unplugged and allow your DMN to do a lot of connections in the background, and you never know what you might come up with. So, do mindless tasks. Set aside some time. Don't think folding laundry or doing your dishes are boring things. Change your perspective a little bit. So, doing mindless tasks actually help you make the most of your downtime. And finally, journaling and meditation. These are fantastic ways for you to unplug and do some reflection and think about some of the bigger things in life, do some introspection to think about who you are, what you're doing, where you're going, and enable your personal growth in terms of discovering who you truly are. So, these are three pretty straightforward ways to make the most of boredom, to harness the power of boredom. So, the paradox that we're talking about, the paradox of boredom, is that it always feels like the enemy. We're always fighting boredom. We don't want to be bored. We always keep complaining that we are bored. For us, we always treat boredom as an enemy when it actually is a kind of a gift. So that's a bit of a paradigm shift. It is basically the empty space where creativity actually thrives, where focus is rebuilt, and where self discovery can actually happen. That's what boredom gives you. In a world where we are always plugged in a world that is always constantly in motion, boredom is basically that rare pause that allows us, that lets us grow, allows us and gives us the space and time for us to grow into better individuals. So that's how important boredom actually is. So the next time you feel you're bored, or you feel you're bored and you want to fight it, don't run away from it. Instead, lean in to your boredom, and you might just be surprised with what you find out. You might just surprise yourself with what ideas and connections you actually come up with. So the next time you feel bored, don't run away from it, lean into it, make the most of it, knowing that there are processes running in the background that will help you grow, improve your focus, and add creativity to your life. So, embrace boredom and unlock your potential. So that's today's session on the surprising benefits of boredom. I hope that was interesting and useful to you. This video, as always, is going to be supported by a long form blog article with suggested references and readings, etc. So do visit our blog for a greater in depth look into the surprising benefits of boredom. So never be bored again. Just embrace it and allow it to help you create new things, new meaning in life. And so that's it for this video. If you like this, and if you liked our videos, if you like our videos, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And like always, don't forget to leave your constructive feedback in the comment section below. And as always, if there is anything that you would like to talk to me on a one-on-one basis, in a one-on-one session, please reach out to me on rahul@huddlepsychology.com. And I look forward to hearing your stories, and I'll try and respond to you as quickly as I can and help you the best way I possibly can. So until next time, here's me signing off. Keep flourishing. Bye bye.